Hey everyone, welcome back to Ontario Gardening. It is October and we have pumpkins coming out of gardens and at our farm stand, so we are going to be using them to make pumpkin puree. And then later on, I am going to show you how to use this pumpkin puree, so in a different video, in order to make a copycat Starbucks latte. You can use it in your baking, in pies. I'll show you how to make a pie. And then of course you can use the seeds inside in roastes as well. So, to get started on this pumpkin puree, all you need is a good knife, a cutting board, some parchment paper on a pan, your pumpkins, and a food processor or blender to make that puree. So just to know, you are going to need the baby pumpkins. You can use jack-o'-lantern pumpkins or larger pumpkins, but it's just not, the flavor is not going to be the same, and the texture just really isn't going to be the same either. Yes, you would definitely get more puree, but with these, you get that more rich pumpkin flavor and it's definitely sweeter. So you're looking for either like a sugar baby pumpkin, or sometimes they'll say like pie pumpkins, fairy tale pumpkins. You're looking for that small pumpkin. So I've got the oven heated to 400 degrees and I have washed my pumpkins off. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that knife and we are going to cut this pumpkin in half. Don't bother trying to go through the stem. You're never gonna make it. Just kind of go off to the side here and we're gonna make a straight cut and cut this bad boy in half. I'm gonna do it off camera real quick so I don't lose a finger, and I will show you what it looks like when we're done. Okay, so I've got my two halves here. I guess I should say 3/4 because this one is still pretty significantly bigger than this. But I've also taken the stem off the top because when this is roasted, we're going to want to throw it in the blender. So next what we're going to do is we're going to remove this inside guts. So I'm actually going to put them into a bowl over here because I'm going to save the seeds and roast them. So go ahead and take your spoon or whatever you have handy and get that out of there. Okay, so we have our pumpkins gutted on the inside. You can have some of that spider web cobby guts inside left, that's fine. But you're going to want to get all those, make sure all those seeds are out. So at this point, we will transfer these to our roasting pan. Now you can transfer them whole like this, or if you wanted to, you could actually, I see a little seed here, you could actually cut these into smaller pieces to make the roasting better. And I mean, if you have a piece like this, that's something that you might want to consider doing. But yeah, and then we're gonna pop these in the oven at 400 degrees, and we're doing that for an hour. About halfway through, I'll come check on them to make sure they're roasting okay. But I'm going to pop them in the oven. We'll see you in an hour, and then I'll show you the next step, which is just pureeing it up. Okay, so it's been about an hour. I have my pumpkin roasted. So this is probably a little over roasted. It's fine. It's not going to change anything, but you're just looking for your fork to pierce through it and for it to be soft, similar to like a boiled potato, and that skin to kind of separate off of the pumpkin. Now, a lot of people will say to peel the skin off, which you can 100% do if that's the way you want to do it. I am going to actually leave the skin on because it does enrich and deepen that pumpkin flavor, and there's lots of good nutrients in that skin. So to make life easy, leave it on there. But again, if you want to take it off, you would just peel it right off and you can use the insides. So I cut them into smaller pieces. We're going to get this into the food processor, or you can put it into a blender, and we're going to puree it up. Okay, and here we have it, pumpkin puree. You want to keep pureeing that up until it's like a baby food consistency. And this is going to be great, like I said, for baking. Now, I didn't mention before, but about 1 pound of pumpkin is going to get you about 1 cup. So that's a general rule of thumb of puree. So if you were making a pumpkin pie that calls for 2 cups of puree, you're going to want to get 2 of the small little little pumpkins. So I'm just going to store mine in a container and put it in the fridge. You can freeze this and unfreeze it later. Totally up to you and how you want to store it. But that is as easy as it is to do pumpkin puree right from your garden. And like I said, we'll be sharing videos in the next week or two as we get closer to Halloween about roasting the pumpkin seeds and making some pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving and doing that copycat Starbucks pumpkin spice latte. So follow us along. Talk to you soon. Bye.